All right, so when we talk about diets and we talk about the long-term success of diets, what typically happens is that people have a goal, like, I want to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever the case may be. Then they get to that goal and then they have this like, what do I do now moment? And then inevitably either they quit then, or without any other plan, they just continue the diet into diet fatigue, which then inevitably leads to quitting, a relapse, weight comes back on, and we're back at square one. So how do we make our diets sustainable? So here's your Mortarman, right? Your Chuck or 18 Bravo, and he's hanging rounds, all right? Here's your forward observer, and here's your bad guys, okay? So the first round he hangs, he goes far, right? FO says, all right, you need to drop it some. Second round he fires, he's a little bit short, right? Then, because he went a little long and a little short, he knows that the bad guys are somewhere between those 2 points. So then the third round is fire for effect, boom, right in between the two, and he hits the bad guys. You pick your point that you want to sustain at. So for me, that's roughly where I'm at now, about 70 kilograms, 154, 155 pounds. You diet past that until you begin to hit fatigue. All right, so if you look here, our Mortarman is the diet duration. So boom, shot out. I took my time. I took 38 weeks to nickel and dime my way down to 148. But at that point, I was super shredded, but like my joints were achy. Everything felt heavy. I actually was waking up not particularly thrilled to do my conditioning. So that kind of led me to believe, all right, even for doing everything right and taking your time, you're experiencing diet fatigue. So now it's time to back off a little bit. At week 38 is right when I hit that bottom point. Okay, so that was my first shot. So, shot two, about 53 weeks. Okay, so the next 14 weeks, I kind of eased off. So what does that mean? That means I had a little bit more calories, and by calories to me, since I don't really count calories or macros, I had more food volume. I backed off training some weeks. Basically, I managed things so that my energy balance wasn't quite so in the negative, so that some of the weight started to come back. And it mostly was good weight because I stayed just as lean, but got stronger in the gym, started getting conditioning PRs, felt a lot better. So fatigue resolved. And you can see here on my spreadsheet, right at week 53, that's when I hit 161.8, which then, using this analogy, I did my fire for effect, boom, third shot, week 67, and that was my easing into maintenance. So from week 53 to 67, so another 14 weeks, I eased into maintenance. My high was 155.8, my low was 153.7, so the mean was around 154 or 70 kilograms. That right there is the sweet spot. I understand the concept, but what happened to 6 weeks to abs? What happened to 8-week cut, 14-week bulk? That's not how it works sustainably, folks. You gotta go long and slow if you want things to stick. When it comes to training things, the fidelity of the signal is really high, which is why I tell you often in these videos, you have to exercise because just dieting is not a very strong signal. That said, it is still a signal, and if the signal has a prolonged duration, that's when you start seeing a greater magnitude of effect. You lift weights, you're gonna feel something immediately. You know, you're gonna feel sore. You're gonna have an immediate response because the magnitude of effect is really high. You eat 300 more or 300 less calories a day, it's nothing acutely. However, over time, over several weeks, it can end up being a tremendous amount of weight loss or a tremendous amount of weight gain, or more importantly, a tremendously positive health benefit or a tremendously negative health benefit, like cancer, for instance, or type 2 diabetes. So with all that said, I brought you, to week 38, then 53, then 67. Well, today is the end of week 101. So what happened since week 67? So since easing into maintenance, those 14 weeks from resolving fatigue, from week 53 to 67, I then cranked it up a notch to week 75 and dropped down to about 152, give or take, and started to experience some more fatigue. Because now, at this point, I'm at a much higher level of fitness than I've been at any other point in this training period. I'm getting PRs in my lifts. My connective tissues are starting to heal from serious injuries. I'm starting to get PRs on my conditioning. So I can't get back down to this point without having to sacrifice some performance, you see. And so that's reflected right around here, week 75, where I had a high of 158.7 and a low 152.3. Week 84, so from 75 to 84, so 9 weeks, so a little over 2 months. Again, jumped back up to 161 and fatigue was resolved. And that right there, that like 2 to 3 kilograms, 5-6 pounds over the target, that's kind of where I like pump the brakes on the calorie surplus, backing off of training, being a little too comfortable, and then ease back into maintenance again. And we have that here at week 89 where I'm at 161.7 at a high, 156.7 low. And then from 89 for another 11 weeks, so almost 3 months, to week 100, I eased back into maintenance at around 153, and that's roughly where I'm at. It's only been 2 weeks since then. Week 101 just ended today, so that's roughly where I'm at. Still in kind of a maintenance phase, going into a little bit of a mini cut, and so probably, let's call it end of April, maybe, I'll probably be right around here again. Then May, June, right around here again. And then June, July, August, end of the summer, probably back into maintenance again. The longer you stay close to your target weight, it's more just little manipulations left and right over shorter periods of time. Instead of a massive, 3-quarter diet, you only have to do mini cuts. You only have to do a little 6-week, 8-week from where I'm at right now to a little bit under and leaner. And then that potentiates the next mini bulk or massing phase. Then you get, 5-6 pounds above your target weight. Then when you start feeling a little too puffy, then you just mini cut back down and back and forth and back and forth. And it's super simple because all you have to do at that point, since your body is now kind of used to being where you want it to be, is subtle variations, stay in the fight.